Please speak to someone. Speak to anyone. People would rather, I know I'd rather me mate cry on my shoulder than go to his funeral next week. So please, let's get rid of this stigma and men start talking.
That's right. Men, start talking. Please talk. All right. So this is the pathology report of Jason David Frank. We see that he was 49 years old. His date of death is November 19th, 2022. Pathological findings. Hanging. A, he was found hanging by a power cord of a hairdryer in the bathroom of a hotel room per investigative information. Per investigative information is the information shared from the detectives to the medical examiner. Circumferential ligature furrow around the neck. That, look, I ain't a doctor, guys. I am not a doctor. I'm not even gonna guess what that is. Petechio hemorrhages of the bulbar in palpebral conjunctive. This is all medical talk. And the things around the neck, I'm guessing that's like the welts or something around the neck. I could be wrong. Remember, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a medical professional. I'm just a former investigator and someone, look, this is what happened, right? I'll tell you exactly what happened. When the report leaked, it was just the first page of the toxicology report. And they're like, oh, I got the whole thing. Someone was like, I got the whole thing. And I'm like, you got the whole thing? Send it to me. So they sent me what they thought was the whole thing. And instantly I was able to shoot it down. I'm like, okay, why is the work order number different than that? Why is, like, look at this, right? You're not gonna see it up here, but you're gonna see it on the next page. It would be like 1 of 7, and then they'll send me, here's pages 2, 3, and 4. And it'd be like 2 of 4, 3 of 4, 4 and 4. And I'm like, dude, this ain't the real thing. Like, oh, you're right, it ain't. And I'm like, come on. Look, I may not be a medical examiner, but when you're an investigator, you have to be, you have to pay attention to detail. Okay, I have a science degree, right? And that's my bachelor's is in science. And I am very detail oriented. That's like when I prep these streams, I'm winging them for the most part, guys. I'm just talking off the cuff, but my talking points are kind of prepped. You've seen the prep work or whatever. That's just what it is. So when people were sending me this, and when I say people, I'm talking like at least 5 people sent me what they thought was a full report. And I'm like, well, this is just page 1. This is missing the certain key elements. And I'm just like, this ain't the real thing, guys. And they was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna do some more digging. And then the person who leaked it, I suspect, they reached out to me and they gave me the whole thing. They said, hey, you covered JDF respectfully, and I want to give this to you. And then I had about an hour-long conversation and a lot of messages back and forth with this individual who we should all be appreciative of, you know, for trusting me not to come up here and just, you can be reckless with information. That's just a thing. Like, you can be very reckless with information. Even when I was working as an investigator and I found out this company was getting away with not paying my company over $100,000 a year. I could have easily been reckless with it and just went to the medium like, hey, I found this, and I'd have been out of a job and the companies too would have been beefing, but you got to be tactful with it. So I had this report for, I don't know, couple days, 3 days, 4 days or whatever, but I had to do some research on it and all that good stuff. So Jason David Frank, this is the pathology report. If you just got here, 49, November 19th. 9 o'clock is the time it was done by. You got the prosector is the person who basically did it. This is the person who's looking over his body, not the person who's testing the blood. Okay, there should always be 2 different people, not the same person. Okay, so pathological findings. He was found hanging by a power cord of a hairdryer in the bathroom of a hotel room per investigative information. That's the information that the detectives gave the medical staff. We saw he got the circumferential ligature furrow around the neck, which I could have Googled this, but I'm telling you, the prep time I've been a mess today. Here we go. Highlighted. History of depression, history of anxiety, history of bipolar disorder. Okay. Now we got hypertensive cardiovascular disease. Heart weight, 510 grams with left ventricular hypertrophy. And you're like, what the hell is left ventricular hypertrophy? This is what will cause you to snore. It will cause you to snore very bad. And even the person that I was speaking to, they suffer from the same thing, but they have a CPAP machine. Cause of death. Hanging, self-deletion. This is the signature of the prosector, okay? So this is the guy who's looking over his body. Cause of death, hanging. Manner of death, suicide, okay? That's right, no black belt. It was a cord from a whatchamacallit. Now, here is the second page. If you see it was blacked out is the case number, people are like, oh, I got it. And they were sending me the second page. I'm like, yo, the case number is different. This ain't it. So it'd be like a lot of fake information out there. Okay, so we know he expired in Fort Bend County. External examination. Okay, this is, look, guys, if you want to leave, leave. This gets dark. When first viewed, the body is clad in black long sleeve shirt, black and gray camouflage printed underwear, and green socks. Oh man, he was just wearing his underwear and socks. Green socks, but shout out to the Green Ranger. A ligature consisting of a power cord is wrapped tightly around the neck. The power cord is attached to a hair dryer that is wrapped in a paper bag and will be described below. So there you go. Medications received with the body include, now this is, think about this. Medications received with the body include 1 bottle of trazodone, 2 bottles of hypercodone, acetaminophen, 1 bottle of clozapine, and 1 bottle of Paradigm, and 1 bottle of clonazepam. Okay. Now, y'all like, what the hell? How many medications did he have? That's a lot for one person to have, which it is. And the person with the law enforcement background, he says, yo, Henry, that page is important. That sentence is important. The medications received with the body were those. Typically, they would say the medications prescribed, the medications that were found to him were prescribed to him, and these are it. So what happened is he had just bottles of random medication. And when you're going through depression, everyone has the tendency to what's the word when you self-medicate. And when you look up the combination of these medications, no doctor would ever prescribe this to one person, because when you go to the pharmacy and you get in a pain pill or any like opioid, they look up to see what you're on. Okay, so what some people would do to beat that is go to different pharmacies, go to a different state. Make sure the network's not connected. Go to a different doctor. And the doctors have to take you at your word. They're not going like, okay, look up, he traveled a lot. Okay. So by him traveling a lot, he would have access to get different things from doctors. So it's easy to say, hey, I'm going to be in Florida, get treated for depression. And then you go to Tennessee or something. I'm just using random places, and you go seek treatment for depression. You go see a doctor. Hey, I'm depressed. I just need something to help me on the road. I used to take trazodone. Can you prescribe me some trazodone? Doctor is like, okay, sure. I can't, look into your history, but I want to give you help. It could have been like that. I'm speculating. I'm not saying I know it happened like that, but that's possibly. Now, the highlighted portions are all important. I'll speed through these less important parts just so we can cover it all, because I see it's probably hard for you guys to read over here. The body is of a well-developed, overweight white man whose appearance is compatible with the stated age of 49. So he looks 49. The body is received as 71 inches long, 190 pounds. There's good preservation in the absence of embalming. So he wasn't embalmed. Rigor is absent. So he wasn't stiff. I don't know if you guys know what rigor mortis sets in when you're stiff. The body is cold subsequent to refrigeration. Liver is posterior on the lower extremities. The scalp and face are congested. The scalp and hair is brown. This is all, hey, we're just looking over the body. The neck has injuries to be described below, which we want to know that, hey, the neck is injury is consistent with hanging. Evidence of injury, here we go, guys, for that Facebook group. A ligature consisting of a power cord attached to the hair dryer, labeled Andes 1875 watts, is tightly wrapped around the neck. A piece is taped, is placed on the interior aspect of the cord, cut through, and removed from the neck. The diameter is a noose in 5 inches and is created. Let's go to page 3. Now, here we go, page 3. Let me zoom in for you. By a single loop adjacent to the plug, the power cord is previously cut near the looped area adjacent to the handle of the hair dryer. The length of the power cord from the knot of the noose to the cut portion of the power cord adjacent to the hair dryer is 38 inches. So it's 38 inches from his neck to the cord. Like I said, guys, this is some heavy stuff. Okay. It ain't gonna be super easy to get through all this. This is more right here. This part that I'm kind of just skipping through is more stuff around the neck. All right. Let's make sure I got everything. I don't want to skip nothing important. The furrow fork. This is basically everything around his neck. And I really don't want to go into it, guys. Like, he hung himself, guys. He hung himself. More neck stuff. So internal examination. The thoracic and abdominal organs are in normal atomic positions. There are no adhesions or abnormal collections of fluid. So all his organs seem to be intact, guys. The head, we don't care about the head. All right, let's go through the head. The scalp subclavicular area, the skull are unremarkable. Unremarkable is a fancy word that says nothing stand out. Like when I would do an investigation, I'd be like, no observations were made. There was nothing really to see. Everything was normal. So unremarkable is normal. The dura and the dural sinuses are unremarkable. The brain weighs 40 grams. There are no epidural or subdural or barbachoid hemorrhages. These words are like big as hell. I can't read them, guys. The cerebral hemispheres are symmetrical and unremarkable. Gyro pattern, the cranial nerves and blood vessels are unremarkable. Sections through the cerebral hemispheres and brain stem are unremarkable. There are no hemorrhages in the deep white matter or basal ganglia. There is no blood in the cerebral ventricles. The spinal cord viewed from the cranial cavity is unremarkable. So look, with his head being unremarkable, there is no like head injuries. You know, he wasn't like beat and then he went and did that. This is for the idiotic Facebook group. So I know y'all got y'all narrative that, you know, no matter what I say, no matter what's read in this report, Tammy did it. But, you know, I go with the facts. So anyway, next, see the evidence of injury. The hyoid bone of the laryngeal cartilages are intact. The lumen of the larynx is not obstructed. The soft tissues in the proverbial fascia are unremarkable. The cervical vertebrae are intact. Yeah, it is hard to read, guys. It is hard to read. I'm not lying. Cardiovascular system. The intimate surface of the abdominal aorta is free of atheros. I don't even know what that word is. The aorta and the major branches and the great veins are normally distributed. The height weighs 510 grams. The pericardium, the epicardium, and the endocardium are smooth. There are no thrombi or aorta ventricles. The pulmonary arteries contain no. Now look, we going page by page, guys. So if you were to clip this, you'd be like, okay, Henry, you got the whole goddamn report. And I intentionally did not leave anything out. Intentionally did not leave anything out, guys. I was like, let me keep it all in here for you, for the Facebook group, for my detractors, for my haters, the people that say I'm covering up stuff, or, you know, for all y'all, even the people who tell me,
you dig, bro. You like to dig.
you know, even the people who telling me
certain things have to be kept private.
Like, hey, keep this private. It's out there, man. Like I said, it looks like what 16% of the people already saw this, so it ain't even new news to them. They just want to see me break it down. Basically, look, his body is fine. The respiratory system, the right lung weighs 800 grams, the left lung weighs 700, the upper airway is unobstructed. So there was nothing in his mouth or whatever, or nothing was shoved down his throat to stop him from breathing. The laryngeal mucosa is smooth. The pleural surfaces are smooth and glistening. Like, who uses glistening? Oh my goodness. Describe someone's lungs. Like, this is a guy who looks at dead bodies every day. Every day. Hey, what are you doing tomorrow? I'm looking at a couple of dead bodies. The major bronchi are unremarkable. Section of the lungs discloses a mildly endomatous Look, this is all stuff I couldn't even tell y'all what it is. I'm looking for things that stand out. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm looking for anything I can be interpreted as foul play, but there is none, in my humble opinion. The liver weighs, okay, this is good. The liver weighs 2370 grams. The capsule's intact. The prechimia is chin. The gallbladder contains. Now, here's what is impressive about this. The liver weighs this. The capsule is intact. So with the liver being intact, he congested a lot of pills, and we're going to get to the pills, but they were not digested. And because the capsule is intact, that lets you know, hey, it's not digested. The spleen weighs that amount, 240 grams. The capsule is intact. The precharia is dark and unremarkable, so nothing to know about the spleen. The cervical hilar and peritoneal lymph nodes are unremarkable. Look, guys, someone said, how does his neck not be crushed? You could choke someone to death without crushing their neck. All you have to do is restrict airflow. Like my little cousin, right? Oh gosh, I'll make this a little light. My little cousin almost turned my goddamn lights off. And you like, Henry, how? Because he was like 10. I wish I could bring him up and you could tell this story. He's like 10, and I think I was probably like 20. And I was going to teach him the rear naked chokehold. Like, look, if you ever, you put your hand around someone and you lock it, right? You lock it like this and you put that pressure right here, you restrict blood flow to the brain, you can turn their lights out without ever crushing the neck. Fucking idiots. And he almost turned my lights out because thank God, like my uncle was there to pull him off me because, look, I'm a big cousin. I got to pick on my little cousin, make him tough. I would call him like chrome dome, punk, chump, all the things that my older cousins would call me to make me tough. So when people coming at me or my daughter, I'm like, I really don't care. With enough force, you can crush the neck. But like I said, guys, you don't have to crush your neck to die. All you have to do is restrict blood flow to your brain. That's it. You restrict blood flow to the brain, it's over. Typically, like you would see, like back in the day, guys, when they would hang people who looked like me, they wouldn't die from like strangulation. They'd die because their neck was broken. It was like a broken neck or something. But yeah, once you restrict blood flow to the brain, it's game over. So anyway, the thyroid and adrenal glands are unremarkable, extremely on sectioning. The right kidney weighs this, the left kidney weighs that. The capsules of the kidney strip with ease to remove mildly granular cortical surfaces. The cortices are normal thickness with well demarcated junctions. The calyces, pales, and uterus are unremarkable. So the kidneys are unremarkable. You know what impacts your kidneys? Like all you guys should know, the bladder contains this, the mucus is smooth, the prostate gland and testes are unremarkable, extremely, and on sectioning. What impacts your kidneys, guys? If you was to congest a substance for an extended period of time, what would impact your kidneys? So you got alcohol and pills. So for him to have this intact liver, that says a lot about the toxicology report, okay? It says a lot. And when we get to the toxicology report, remember his liver was intact, his kidneys was intact, okay? That's all I want you to remember when we get to the toxicology report. Liver intact, kidneys intact. And we're almost there, guys. The episodiological mucosa is gray and smooth and unremarkable. The stomach contains 40 milliliters of partially digested food mixed with a yellow tan liquid. There are 15 small brown tablets with no markings or labels. Again, there are 15 small brown tablets with no markings or labels. Okay. The gastric mucosa has the normal rugal folds and there are no ulcers. The small and large intestines are unremarkable externally. The appendix is present. The pancreas is unremarkable externally and on sectioning. Okay. So we got 15 pills in his stomach. This is a little tough. This concludes to me that he did not want to be here at all. And the 15 pills, which I happen to know or suspect what they are, were going to do him in. There was no way. In fact, the medical person I consulted with said, hey, look, those pills are allegedly rumored to be M30s or oxycodone, 30 milligrams. And this is way above the normal amount. Even if you built up a tolerance, if you saw dope sick on oxys, you should really look at that. He took 15 brown tablets of oxy, which was going to do him in. And when we see the toxicology report, and I showed it, I had a doctor look at it, they said, based on what was in his system, what was in his stomach, he was going to die that night and or have a heart attack in his sleep. So he was gone that night no matter what. And I know the Facebook group, they like, oh, Tammy did it. What did she do, guys? Did she choke him out, stuff 15 pills in his mouth, cut the freaking hair dryer, and then wrap him up and then go get snacks? Y'all are fucking idiots, all of y'all. Seriously. Yes, he took the meds and hung himself. It's hard to believe, but shit, that's what the reports say. That's what the facts say. What do you guys want me to do? What do you guys want me to do? I don't get this. I really don't. Look, here's the thing. Some people, you will never convince them otherwise. If they say Tammy did it, then she fucking did it. Even if she got proof that, hey, I was in the lobby, or, he got like a sealed confession, hey, I did this while she was away. People will just believe what they want. I'll let the idiots believe what they want to believe. So, to reiterate, he took 15 pills of oxy. And we ain't even got to the toxicology report, so you don't even know all the other stuff. This is just pathologically. Pathologically, he died because he hung himself. There we go. The pills were going to do him in, but he hung himself.